When it comes to purling, I also like to use the continental or picking method and not that English throwing method that we talked about earlier. I also do something a little bit different, and I make a Portuguese purl. I think that it's much softer on my hands, and I actually do it using my thumb. So, in this lesson, I want to show you how to do the Portuguese purl using my thumb. Now that we have knit a row, it's time to learn how to purl. So when we purl, we work on the back side of the work usually. But again, we're going to learn a lot of different techniques when you may be purling on the front and knitting on the back. When we go to purl, the important thing to remember is that the yarn doesn't come from the back like it did with the knit stitch. It actually comes from the front. So when we go to set our hand and to tension our yarn, it's important to remember that we need to carry the yarn in the front. So when we were knitting, we carried the yarn in the back of the work like this, but when we purl, it actually has to come to the front. And now you might understand why I use my thumb to purl. Now, if I didn't use my thumb to purl, I could use my finger, but I would have to take my finger down and hold my thread down and purl like this. And that becomes a little bit awkward. So what I like to do is use my thumb. It's a very smooth movement. It's a very easy movement. So the first thing that you're going to do is go ahead and put that yarn under your thumb. You're going to take your right needle tip and insert it from back to front and right to left, so you'll notice in the completely opposite direction from knitting. And you're going to take your thumb and lift the yarn up and pull the yarn down, and you can actually hold that stitch with your thumb, or you can just hold the yarn down with your thumb. You'll see I have good tension on it, pulling it down. And then you're going to take your needle and you're going to push it through the loop, and you'll move the new stitch, which is on your right needle, which you've pulled through the old stitch on your left needle, out, and then pop that old stitch off. So let's watch that again. You're going to take your needle tip and insert it from right to left and back to front through your stitch. Lift your thumb up and hold it down so that you can see the strand from your new stitch. You're going to move your needle tip through that old stitch. You'll have the new stitch on the right needle, the old stitch on the left, and you'll pop it off. So let's try that again. From back to front and right to left, and then lift our thumb up and down, and then pull that stitch off. So let's watch that again. And we have purled 5 stitches. So try that again. From right to left and back to front, lift your thumb and hold it down. Okay, so go ahead and finish that row. Now you know how to knit and how to purl. And next we will talk about the gauge swatch.